So, while working on my projects, I began listening to The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. It is the second book in the Spell Shop series, and I read Spell Shop back in November. The Enchanted Greenhouse just came out this past July. And as per usual, before going in, I did not read the blurb. So the only things I know about going into this book is what we learned in the Spell Shop. Although, from what I understand, this is a series of interconnected standalones. So whatever happened in Spell Shop might have nothing to do with what happens in the Enchanted Greenhouse. So chapters 1 to 6, because that's as far as I got yesterday. In chapter 1, we meet Tyrlu. Tyrlu is the librarian who created Kaz. Kaz, the talking spider plant that hangs out with Keela. Or Kyla. I read Red Spell Shop, so I'm honestly not sure how it's pronounced. But anyway, Tyrlu is on trial for creating Kaz, because that is illegal magic use. And this takes place, or this first chapter takes place before the government is overthrown, which is a major world event that happens in the Spell Shop. And because Tyrlu is found guilty, she is sentenced to be a statue for an undetermined amount of time. But not to worry, she gets unstatuified in the next chapter. She wakes up alone. And we have no idea how or for how long she was in her statuified state. And at the current moment, I'm still assuming that the fall of the Emperor happened while she was in her statue state, so she has no idea that this has occurred. And alone, she stumbles through the snow and finds the greenhouse, which turns out to be a green mansion, because it is like a huge thing that's got multiple rooms with multiple gardens and multiple ecosystems and biomes within said gardens. Inside the greenhouse, we run into a winged cat, and also the greenhouse's handsome yet grumpy and standoffish caretaker. I have a feeling we have our grumpy sunshine dynamic going on. Interestingly enough, we do not learn until 2 chapters later, and also story-wise overnight later, that his name is Yarrow. Also, the cat's name is Emerald. We learn from Yarrow that he was the one that released her from her wooden prison. She was a wooden statue, which was an interesting choice. Which is a lot less dark than what I had thought. I had assumed that the reason that she was released was because the person who cast the spell had left the world of the living and the spell lost potency. But this is cozy, so it shouldn't be that dark. After another trip through the mansion of greenhouses, Tyrlu had come across some dead gardens within the greenhouse where the magic had failed. Yarrow informs us that he had written to the capital to ask for help, and after several attempts to contact the capital, Tyrlu was suddenly drop-shipped to the island with the release spell taped to her forehead. It doesn't describe it as taped to her forehead, but that's how I'm picturing it. But since Yarrow assumed that Tyrlu was a sorcerer sent from the capital to fix the greenhouses, I have a feeling he doesn't know about the calamity that has occurred in the capital, if it has occurred yet in the storyline. In the meantime, while they both try to figure things out, he gives Tyrlu a cottage. Or really, he tells her to pick one, because the island has been abandoned for unknown to Tyrlu reasons. And there are many abandoned cottages on the island. What type of cottagecore cozy fantasy would this be without a cottage to fix up? So we have 3 mysteries so far. Who sent Tyrlu? Why and where did the island inhabitants go? And what is wrong with greenhouses? And possibly a 4th one, because where I left off, Tyrlu had just stumbled across a sorcerer's workshop that included a sentient rose plant.